Inside PressBox is presented by Friedmont Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to Friedmont.com now for all of your mortgage needs.
And welcome back to Inside PressBox. Attention Oriole fans, the Major League All-Star break is approaching. And this year, the folks out at Camden Yards are encouraging all of you to vote orange to get the skinny on the Birds' push to the Midsummer Classic. PressBox reporter Derek Wattay headed out to the ballpark.
Standing here with Greg Bader, the Director of Communications for the Orioles. Greg, we have a handful of players on the All-Star ballot this year, and a big part of that has been Vote Orange. Tell us a little bit about the Vote Orange initiative.
Well, we're so excited to be able to have a situation where our fans have been able to get behind our team and our players and vote orange. We've been encouraging fans since April to go online to Orioles.com/voteorange, where they can cast ballots up to 35 votes per email address for Orioles players. Obviously, we have a lot of deserving folks this year. We have, the league leader in home runs and in hits, doubles. So it's a great group of guys, and Chris Davis and Manny Machado and Nick Markakis, Adam Jones, J.J. Hardy. These guys really deserve a spot, and we want to reward fans for voting.
And for details on the fan rewards Greg mentioned, you can head to Orioles.com/voteorange. There you can cast your votes for all your favorite Orioles and learn all about the incentives of voting orange. And as promised, this week's extra special guest here to talk some Orioles baseball, joining us via Skype from his home. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back Stan the Fan Charles, brace and all Stanley. How are you?
How are you, Gary Stein? And thank you for playing Lou Gehrig to my Wally Pipp.
Well, I think you're going to get back in this chair sooner or later, so I don't know how good of a Lou Gehrig I'll be, but I certainly appreciate the opportunity. Hey, before we get into our topic, I did want to toss what we call in our business a segue from Greg Bader to Stan the Fan, and that is this whole vote orange concept. And believe me, I understand it's been a wasteland here for 14 years until the last couple. But are you okay with everybody voting up to 35 times? Does it take away the legitimacy at all of the National League and American League starting lineups?
Well, it does to some extent, Gary, and it's a sign of the times. It's the same thing when you go vote on American Idol. You don't just vote once, you can vote up to 35 times on American Idol. But it shows you how far we've come, Gary. Back in the late 50s, the Cincinnati Enquirer, the newspaper, stuffed the ballot box in Cincinnati and had about 7 of the National League starters be Cincinnati Reds by having a voting thing where fans could fill out the ballot there. And they had every player on the Cincinnati Reds in, and that took the vote away from the fans. But here we are some 55 years later, and it's all part of commerce now. It's to get people to go on each website as many times as possible, and their advertisers get the bang for the buck. So overall, I'm okay with it. It's not ideal, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, actually. I'm actually coming around to it. You and I are both old school, but I think we see, exactly what you're talking about with the interaction and the online and all that. What I want to talk to you about today is this, and actually the fact that you're wearing your neck brace is perfect for it. And first of all, how are you?
By the way, my neck brace is right here.
Yeah, I know exactly where it is. And why don't you tell the fans, exactly what happened? Why are you wearing that brace?
Well, for the past couple of years, I've had a diminishing quality of life, a lot of pain walking, a lot of numbness in my legs standing, and the options were there. I thought I needed back surgery. The surgeon that I went to, a guy named Dr. John Carbone, thought that I had a larger problem in my neck with my nerves being crushed because of a spinal stenosis condition. So they elected to do a cervical fusion, which is back behind it. They can do it 2 ways, Gary. They can do it anterior or posterior, and Nolan Rimo, for example, probably had his done posterior, which is through the front. I had mine done in the back, which will limit my range a little bit to the left and right, but I don't have to hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
So I guess my question to you, Stan, and we're both talk show veterans, it's so easy to criticize athletes for what they do on the field. It's also easy to criticize them for not getting on the field when they're injured.
Sure.
Do you have a new and different appreciation for what an athlete goes through when they're hurt in order to get back on the field?
Well, I really do, and I know it sounds corny. It's like when somebody dies, you say, I have a new appreciation at every minute of life is so important. But I do. There's no question. I'm rooting for Nolan Reimold like crazy because we've had sort of the same injury. He had his done for a different reason. He had a ruptured disc, which had caused numbness down his shoulder. I never had that problem. But there's no question I have a new awareness and a new appreciation for the severity of coming back from injuries of this nature. I root like crazy for him. I worry that he won't be able to fully make it back. Brian Roberts is somebody, we like to make him the butt of jokes sometime. But, nobody is working harder to come back to play at a high level than Brian Roberts. I look at it in football, Gary. This surgery that Rob Gronkowski, the tight end for the New England Patriots, is going through, his agent referred to it as preventive maintenance. He's 24 years old. This is his second back surgery. He's had 4 surgeries on his arm. These guys are really, in some ways, real whack jobs. I got to tell you, I really think Peyton Manning is absolutely nuts for playing football. He had virtually the same thing that I had, only a smaller area. He didn't have 3 discs where they fused together. He had 1. But I got to tell you, to play a game like football at that position, I think he's absolutely crazy.
Stanley, your only job right now, get better, come back in this chair, and we'll see you soon.
All right, Gary. Thank you very much.
All right, you got it, Stanley. We'll be back with more Inside PressBox right after this.
Play 5-card cash from the Maryland Lottery, and you could really hit it big. Become the contestant of the game or win other great Orioles prizes. Just go to mdlottery.com/Orioles for details.